Welcome to the Medic Materials Podcast. If you came here for a healthy dose of EMS professionalism, you just made a huge mistake. Each week, we discuss all things EMS, review some calls. We also try to get you to pry open your wallets and buy some cool merch and join the Patreon. Somewhere along the way, we also do a fair amount of education and say some smart things. So push the kids out of the room, settle in, and let's get started.
Hello and welcome, everyone, back to the Medic Materials Podcast. The damn is correct, Gerard, but not for the reason that I'm thinking.
Ah.
Yep. I have in store today a wonderful topic to talk about.
Is it how we're going to make EMS great again?
No. Hold on. Let me do some brand advertising. Kaplow! The brand new mega sticker from Medic Materials. Thank you, Gerard, for creating the mega sticker. Make EMS great again. If there were four of us, we would be in the larger boxes, and you'd be able to stare at it the whole time.
I feel cramped right now.
Yeah, I can only see one of Emily's eyes because she's playing solitaire, and
I'm always playing solitaire.
there you go. Oh, now I can see the other eye halfway in between. There you go.
Okay.
It is what it is, though. But getting to our sound effects here, I have to introduce Miss Emily.
We've got a badass over here.
The badass is in today. It's been a while, Em.
I know.
We had some weird conflicts of recording Mondays, recording Fridays, then going back to Mondays, and now we're back to Fridays. So, it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun trying to figure out how to record this show.
Schedule.
But yet somehow, even with our very inconsistent stretch that we've had in the last couple months, this show continues to grow, and I don't understand how. I really don't, because it still baffles me when people walk up to us and say, "Hey, I'm a fan of the show. I listen. You guys are wonderful." I still don't understand why. I still give them the goofy look, like, why do you even listen to us? It doesn't make any sense to me. I love it. Thank you. But it will never compute with my brain how people actually find us amusing.
I said, just shut the fuck up and let it happen.
That's right. That's exactly it. That is exactly it.
Just say thank you.
Yep, exactly. So I'm going to move straight on into today's rig check once I pull it up on my little desktop computer here. And I'm going to first make a shout out to in New York State, the Palinville Fire Department, who recently just signed up to be exclusive members of the Medic Materials CME Academy. So we are now offering all of their CMEs through the Academy.
Very nice.
So if you guys are looking, if you're a fire department, an EMS agency that does, needs providers to do research, sign up with the CME Academy. It's that simple. It is really a painstakingly easy process, and it is.
We're not boring as fuck like Target Solutions.
Exactly, and it's not EMS 1. It is. You are listening to this show in your car, in the gym, wherever you want, being entertained, but also learning. And
I still think somebody's going to wake up one day at the state and be like, we let them do what?
I know. I'm waiting for the hammer to come down, man.
Right?
I really am. I'm waiting for it. But if you're a member of...
It's like they're talking about prison wallets? I don't remember that being the curriculum.
I'm waiting for it. It is the secret in my brain that I worry about the most. But there's a lot of providers that, one of them just came to me. They said, "Hey, I'm almost due. I didn't do anything. What do I need to do?" I was like, "You need to get on the CME Academy and start listening to shows." And that is what they're doing. And they're going to complete almost their entire research through us. So again, if you're in Pennsylvania or New York State, you can use these CMEs for your CME credits.
And I was gonna say, Tammy got credit for it in North Carolina too. So
yeah, so there's another option as well. So
yeah, she put hers in. They were like, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah,
fucking A.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But more information, medic-materials.com. You can find out all the information for the CME Academy there, or just send me an email, info.medicmaterials@gmail.com, and I will send you a price list. I guarantee you we will be cheaper than any other platform out there. The other big, wonderful thing about it is the fact that people are switching over, because I'm finding out that a lot of those other programs like EMS1 and Target Solutions have a minimum requirement of students. And they're like, they're like 10, 15 students. So if you want to sign up, your 4 individuals at your local fire department, you can't do it. Guess what you can do with us? You can sign those 4 individuals up, because I don't have a minimum number. You want to sign up one person through an agency? I'll do it. I don't care. Right? So there's that. Next, absolutely, guys, buy your damn stickers. Like, there's a crap ton of them, right? Emily got her first look at the Phil Foundation sticker today.
Nice.
And then, we have awesome ones. The BSI Scene Safe one. I love this one.
Right.
The coffee IV bag. Like, all of our first responder fuel. Gerard's favorite, the Black Cloud EMS guy.
Yeah, fantastic.
My favorite, the Diesel Bolus guy.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's a ton of them. They are all the exact same price. Head on to medic-materials.com. You can see all the merch there.
The mega sticker.
The mega sticker, absolutely. That is on there. I took it out of my pile and I put it on the
you gotta have the mega sticker.
But lastly, I just want to shout out our listeners in a brand new sector of the country, or world, I should say. And that is New South Wales, Australia. So thank you very much for listening. And the great state of Montana, which I absolutely love that place. And a special thanks to our brand new Patreon, Nene. So thank you again for becoming a Patreon. Gerard and I are working on something to bring some more content a little bit more regular to the Patreon platform. So you Patreons, stay and be prepared. Look out for it. It's coming. So guys, I am bringing today not a call, not really news, but something that I saw that caught my eye. It was in my email, and I read it, and I was like, you know what? We have never actually spoken about this topic, and being the enthusiasts that we are, I think it could lend itself to some interesting conversation. I know that we've talked about different aspects of helping EMS and helping the industry kind of protect itself. But I will just come straight out with the $1 million question. And, to those that know that reference and remember the $1 Million Man, rip to Virgil. What is your guys' thoughts, yay or nay? And then we'll go into a couple of the different aspects of this, deeper. What is your guys' opinion on EMS carrying firearms for personal protection?
Ooh.
Because I saw this article and I could bring it up. I have it right here.
So,
but it's titled, and this literally just came out on the 29th. So yesterday, it is a JEMS article, and I don't typically I don't like JEMS, but this got me thinking, right? And they don't really say a lot of, great things in here, but They title it, "Is It Time for an Armed EMS System? The decision to arm EMTs and paramedics is a complex and multifaceted decision." Now, I don't have to go through all this.
Please don't.
Exactly. I think that we can easily discuss this without the article, but let me get your basic thoughts first.
So I've changed my position on this because we have spoken about this before. I don't know if we spoke on I thought we did it on one of the episodes.
I don't remember ever.
It may have been the old podcast.
Oh, okay.
But I know we talked about this at one
point
in time.
Show.
And I remember at that time I was like, absolutely not. It's not what we're there for. You know, I don't want to be worrying about, you know, guarding my side or whatever, and, you know, worrying about weapon retention while I'm trying to treat somebody. But in recent, you know, craziness and where we're at now, I think I have changed my mind, and I am like, you know what? We need to start sending people through courses, you know, weapon retention, firearms training, you know, that kind of stuff. And they need to be able to carry. I think as long as it's, you know, it's an agency-wide, hey, if you want to do this, these are the steps you need to follow in order to be able to do it. But if you want to do it, then it's your life. Feel free to, you know, defend it. You know, you have to get training and that kind of stuff. It's not just, hey, you know, take Granddaddy shotgun with you to work. But,
right.
But
and
yeah, no, I've changed my mind. Like I'm all for it now.
Which is interesting because,
Yeah.
like I said, I did not recall that we had this conversation prior. Yeah. So I didn't remember your position, and we'll get to mine, but I want to hear what Emily has to say about this.
I'm not totally against it. I do think that we, as our profession stands now, I don't know how many of them I would trust to carry a gun. But I'm with Gerard, like, if you train it and you put the expectations out there, like, why can't I protect my life?
Yeah.
So I think my opinion kind of varies with different variables, right?
Yeah.
We had, like, I'm everybody knows by now, you know, I'm a huge Second Amendment person. I could care less. I think everybody who wants to should be able to exercise that right, whether we're at work or not. However, going with, you know, how we already train our providers in medicine, now we're going to put on top of that, oh, well, you also need to, you know, be proficient in a firearm. You need to do small arms training. You need to do weapon retention. You need to do close quarters combat. You need to do all of these other things, and we can't get past the 30% first pass intubation rate.
Well, this would be definitely something that, you know, not only is it voluntary, but, you know, you have to meet these. It's, you know, I wouldn't put it on, you know, where it's like an agency issued, you know, weapon, that kind of stuff. No, like you need to, this is something you take on your own. You have to meet a certain standard, and you have to maintain competency.
Who's watching that? Because look at all of our education people that are watching our certs. They're not doing anything.
Right.
They don't even know when I expire. They're not watching that.
But this is what I'm saying though, is for that, there would have to definitely be some robust oversight put in place.
Absolutely. I think that in theory, it could be a good idea with some standards here.
Well, and so do I. I think ultimately, you know, this helps EMS a lot in the term of, like, you know, there are systems that you do not get an officer for a long period of time.
Yeah.
There are systems where those officers do not ride with you to the ER. You know, and I've worked in some of those systems. Like when I worked in the city down south, there was no chance that I was getting a city or town officer to my overdose because they were so busy. they didn't go to medical calls unless it was like an active shooter or something, or a domestic. If it was like a measly overdose, you're not getting a cop. Even if you ask for a cop, you're not getting one.
And even when you get them, sometimes, I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but there have been a couple times where I've reminded them, hey, did anybody search this guy?
Right.
Before they put him in the ambulance, and they all look at each other like, oh, I thought you did it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, so they're not going with you. So they're like, oh, I just came to the EMS call. I'm just going to stand here. Well,
right.
Still my life in danger.
Right.
Right.
So
go ahead, Gerard.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, and a lot of the places where, you would think wouldn't be the most dangerous actually are. And it's like the rural environments.
Yeah.
Out in the sticks in the middle of the night, some weird fucking call. And the nearest cop is a county mountie that's, 20, 30 minutes away.
Well, and I mean, even in the county that I'm working now, right? Just the other day I was working in their fly car, and I wasn't even going to a call or anything. I literally just passed a disabled vehicle on the side of the road. Their wheel had fallen off. Their brake pad was, gored. Was
Butch driving?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
But I had called it in, and I was like, listen, I'll park my truck, put the lights on to protect these guys because they were like half in the roadway. And
I've done shit like that too in the fly cars. Yeah.
I waited 45 minutes for a trooper to get there. And granted, my county's big, but it took forever for that cop to get there. Yeah. Now, granted, they're getting their coffee, they're taking their dump because it's a disabled vehicle. Who cares? I know they're lollygagging, but even still, if that was, just based off a distance, I'm now there, because scenes can change. We've talked about that, right? You go in and it's safe, and then
what if it's a bunch of meth heads that just happen to break down?
A new family member gets there and, causes a stir, and now the scene becomes unsafe, right? So I definitely think that there are avenues where this comes in handy. Yeah. Personally, I just don't trust my fellow providers or the agency to police it well enough. I don't have that faith. I look at how they police, like Emily said, our education and our certifications, our QI. I look at how they police, all these different things, and I don't trust them to do the right thing. And I don't even want to get into the whole legality and insurance cost.
Right.
Am I going to have to now carry personal protection insurance? Is that a thing? Oh, hey, if I shoot somebody because I'm on duty, or is the agency has to pick that up?
I would definitely say that would be something that, and again, it depends on where you live. Agencies up there are these little fiefdoms all, all on their own. Whereas down here, these are county-based systems. So this would be a county thing.
Right.
Which you could train with the county deputies, which it wouldn't be that hard to implement. Up there where you've got every little motherfucker in their little kingdom that they don't like to let others play in, now you've got an issue.
Right.
Because nobody wants to be standardized. Everyone wants to do their own thing. You don't piss across the line on my line.
Well, and with that goes the little, the county-wide systems can afford the extra training, all of that development of that process.
So maybe you should do away with small little private fiefdoms and just go county.
That would
How about that?
You'd wonder,
right?
It's almost like, our fellow, Australian listeners,
right,
figured it out years ago when they made it province-wide EMS.
Yeah, it is.
So
they don't fuck around down there.
New South Wales EMS, the whole freaking province is one giant EMS system.
Yeah, Queensland. Yeah, oh yeah.
I wonder how that's working. Oh, I don't know. They export the most amount of paramedics to the rest of the world? Huh. I wonder if that's actually working.
And their medics do shit we only fucking dream about.
Exactly.
Dude, they've got fentanyl lollipops. You know?
Yeah, man. You know,
why the fuck don't we have that?
Because God forbid that you give people ketamine, let alone fentanyl lollipops.
What a great MCI tool. Here.
Yes.
I gotta go person to person. I know you're in pain. Here's a fentanyl lollipop. I'm taping it to your thumb. Suck on it as you need it. I'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be back. You know?
Yeah, you know, I think there are plenty enough times, you know, that I can think of in my career alone where I don't know, like, I doubt I would have fired more than once. There was one time when I worked in the city down south that I actually, my life was put in danger physically. And if it wasn't for my ex-Marine partner, I probably would have gotten stabbed with a kitchen knife. So in that sense, I probably would have used it one time in 17 years that I could actually remember. Right. But just knowing.
All it takes is one time to kill you.
Well, exactly. It only takes one time.
I mean, we just had was it out in, I forget, was it in Western New York or Ohio or whatever the hell it was?
Yeah, where those
just recently
2 firemen and the paramedic died. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 cops and a paramedic.
Oh yeah. 2 cops and a paramedic. Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It just takes one moment of inattention and, you know, you're not expecting it.
Right.
And then here comes an asshole.
Right.
Or they call it and they're waiting as an ambush.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, I'm not saying that would have made a difference there. You know, who knows? But so the one thing that we don't talk about that is, I mean, it is a legit issue. Not issue, but it's a legitimate effect of carrying a firearm, and that's a deterrent.
Yes.
You see somebody with a weapon on their hip, especially somebody in a uniform, and now they've got a gun on their hip.
Right. They get chill a whole lot quicker.
Because they know how to use that thing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Maybe I should come correct.
Right.
You know?
And
that's why when we show up, they're like, yo, man, fuck you. As soon as the cop shows up, it's, oh, yes, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, you know, I look at it from like, I think if you're going to have,
I don't know how good I did my crackhead voice with the cold there. Like, yo, man, fuck you. Wait.
I don't know if it would be better for EMS to conceal or to open, like, you know, just like an officer does. Just, you know, have it on your hip as in a holster.
No, definitely open.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know, I think in terms of you being able to get at it, you need to have it open. I think as the deterrent, have it as open. You know, there's just too many cases, you know, EMS does not do a good job. And I guess this is my main worry, is that EMS does a really poor job at de-escalation, right? So do cops. Like, a lot of cops come on to scenes and make them worse.
I think we're better at it.
I think we are better than the cops, but we're still pretty terrible at it. Because what do we do immediately, right? We get defensive. They yelled at us. We're going to yell right back. Oh, we're going to be big and mean. And now we're giving these providers that do that a firearm to utilize. That scares the bejesus.
And that's the problem. Yeah, and you're right, because like I've de-escalated shit that, like, I've never tussled around with people. I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, I've had tussles, but not where I've come on scene and someone's like, "Oh, oh, fuck you," and all this shit, and I haven't been able to talk them down. I always am able to calm the situation down,
right?
Because I don't come in there and go, "Fuck me," no, "Fuck you," no. I come in and they're like, "Yo, man, fuck you," I'm like, yo, check this out. look at me. You know, I go like this. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. I'm not the cops.
Right.
I'm just here to help you, bud.
Yeah.
You know, and as soon as they get that eye contact and you can break through, 9 times out of 10, they're like, all right, you know, unless they're on some shit. And then you're like, well, this ain't gonna work, you know.
Right.
Night night, you know.
Right.
But I mean, like I can honestly say I've never escalated something into something.
Right.
You know, if it happened, it happened. There was no way to avoid it. But I know you're talking about. Me and Butch rode with somebody who, yeah, I mean, would get down, you know, somebody who's in police custody and say, hey, you know, I need to do this, I need to do that. They go, fuck you. And he goes, literally watched him do it. First words out of her mouth were, fuck you. The very next thing out of his mouth was, yeah, well, fuck you too. Take her the fuck away. I'm done with this fucking bitch. And walked away. I was like, really? After just one fuck you?
Yeah, right.
You know, I was like, I would have at least gone 3.
Right.
You know?
And that's my big worry. We have zero de-escalation training in EMS. Zero. Nurses in the ER get more, you know, de-escalation and, you know, self-protection, you know.
And they're still not good at it.
Right, and they're still not good at it.
But we don't train it. We don't mention it, nothing. It's, oh, a patient's yelling at me. Okay, let's call the cops because they're so good at de-escalation. Let's get them on so we can rile this scene up a little bit more.
Right. Well,
because, you know, their first words when they show up isn't, hey, how's it going? Tell me what's wrong. It's stop resisting.
You need to go.
Right.
Yeah. Shut up. Get over here. Yeah. Whatever it might be.
When was the last time you told somebody to calm down and it actually worked?
Right.
Well, and that's it, right? You know, like I couldn't tell you how many times, you know, we walk in and we're like, you know, chill out, calm down. Like, you know, I like Gerard's method where you're like, look at me, look directly at me and we'll figure this out. Because if you just go,
I do it all the time.
Oh, you just calm down. It'll be okay.
Well, tell your wife that and see how well that works.
Exactly. Like they're not okay.
Right.
It is not going to be okay. Right. You know, and this is such a, you know, a slippery slope because there's so many layers to it. You know, you have the insurance layer, you have the training layer, you have the upkeep layer, you have who manages it. You know, is it the agency? Is it the individual? But then, you know, like who takes that fault? You know, okay, you know, the agency allows someone to carry and they're doing it with their personal firearm. And then, you know, they're open carry. And now all of a sudden they, you know, utilize it.
Now what?
Who takes that blame? Is it on the person? Is it on the agency?
Well, like I said,
but look at especially right now with PD in the news and like all the officer involved shootings, look how they are under a microscope. And it blows my mind that in a split-second decision, they are deciding whether their life is at risk or not, and they decided yes, and they're, you know, doing what they can about it, and then they're getting thrown in jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that not happen to me?
And now you look at certain states, right, where like we're in New York. New York hates people with guns.
100%.
You know, so like
they hate cops.
If you even brandish a firearm in New York State with no intention of using it, you literally just take it and you show it as a deterrent. You are at fault and will go to jail. So New York doesn't even want you to show it. They want you to shoot somebody with it.
Right.
And then you still might be on the hook if they don't deem if they don't deem it was worthy enough.
Yeah.
You know, after they look at it for 3 months when I had a 0.3 second decision to make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what I don't trust EMS providers with.
I agree. I
really wish that I could be like, yes, let's do this. It's fabulous. I don't trust my coworkers to be able to handle this.
That's what I'm here on. I love the idea of it. I think we should be allowed to protect ourselves. I don't trust the people that I'm with enough to have a gun.
Yeah. And it
What happens
goes
when they decide, like, oh, I'm in danger, I'm going to shoot this. Oh, by the way, I'm right behind you. Like, you just shot me too.
Right.
right.
I mean, we can't treat medical problems in an emergent situation. Now we're going to treat my life and death problems in an emergent situation. It's just
Right.
not going to work.
Like I said, I mean, yeah, I'm not. I have the same concerns.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of would be, just training and oversight. Super high standard of training, super high, oversight. But then, yeah, I mean, at some point you're going to have to turn these people loose, and you might have people that really have no business, carrying anything,
Right.
um, let alone a firearm, and they're, with that mental attitude out there, it's not always a smart idea.
Right.
But you know, you
You
think
know,
about this on the cop side too, is like there's cops that shouldn't be carrying guns. Like there's bad apples in every profession. I fully believe that.
right,
But 3 make it to the news in a 3-year period, and now all of a sudden nobody trusts a cop. I don't know if
right.
our profession could handle that media storm of like, oh no, we can't trust EMS because they carry guns now.
Yeah, can you imagine? Oh my God! So Emily, you bring up a really good point. It brings a light bulb to my brain. It's like, okay, you hear the cops, the cop story of, oh, they shot an unarmed person, who was charging at them, or whatever scenario you want to take, or they opened up the car door and they were running at them, and the cop felt like, oh man, he saw something, so he shot him. Right? Now you change that to grandma had a heart attack, and on, at 11 o'clock, you're going to find out that the EMS shot her husband. And
Right.
it's like, whoa, what
Right.
is that? Right? Because the media is going to flip it on us.
100%.
Yeah.
And our profession can't handle that.
Exactly. Like,
Cannot handle that. We would
I mean,
be a dying. I mean, we are a dying profession, but that would absolutely nail in the coffin.
right. That's the spike in the heart.
Honestly, would you I mean, if you didn't trust somebody, would you let them into your house? No. Now you're going to create even more frenzy on every single call.
Right.
I mean, the only thing I would say to counter that would be, we weren't targets before. Now we are.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yep. I think
that
you're
little
spot
that
on
little
with that one.
those little shit fucking plate body armor kits that they tuck away in an ambulance for you because they got on a grant, and they say, oh, this is to protect you, from getting shot. Well, if you're not wearing it,
How is it protecting me?
Right.
what do you hold on? Don't shoot me till I go put my plate on.
And I'm sorry. Coming
You,
from
you that means you have to wear them at all times on every call.
coming from somebody, in my experience, who worked in a system that provided body armor, and it was mandated that we wear it from start to finish of shift. It is like, I feel for the cops that have to do it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really do. Right? It is not fun. I worked in a different city down in South New York that is extremely dangerous to this day.
Yeah.
And it was mandated. The agency bought every single provider a vest, and you had to maintain it.
It's hard to work in it, man. I mean,
hard.
It's almost impossible to work in it.
It was difficult to do EMS work in a vest.
Yeah.
It really was, especially one that's like not bought for you.
Right, exactly.
Right?
It's just a one size fits all. No.
Right. It was very tough. Like, imagine trying to lift Aunt Betty in a Reeves down a flight of stairs, around corners,
and this shit doesn't breathe.
And you're getting choked by your vest. Right?
Yeah.
It sucked.
And you're sweating your ass off because it
sucked.
doesn't breathe.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know.
I was the thinnest I ever was. Maybe that's how I should lose weight again.
Right.
Start wearing a vest every day.
Right. Well, I believe that's illegal now in New York too. So
yeah,
just keep that.
There's things.
Not only can we don't want you defending yourself, but we don't want you protecting yourself either. You will be sheep. Damn it, you will be sheep.
Right.
If it kills us.
But it's like.
But like I said, my thing is the, we were never targets before, but we are now. So the fact that I know that I could be a target at any time, yeah. Do I want to make the conscious decision? Do I work in a vest? You know, do I have a means of protecting myself that I carry with me? You know, I think we're getting to a point now where, especially with the way things are, that there's going to have to be an answer to some of these questions because,
I agree. I think this is coming way faster than we think.
yeah,
I think that if we could plan this now and get all this stuff in order, we were going to be better off because I don't think it's a, oh, should we or not? I think it's when.
yeah, I think so.
Now, I just had a spontaneous thought, right? We're talking about, you know, a sidearm handgun for lethal force. Well, they also make sidearms that are air handguns.
Well, they have less
that
than
do
lethal, you
a-
got tasers
that
and
do
stuff.
less lethal kinetic rounds, right? Why can't EMS use those and not like an actual firearm, right?
Because bad guys don't carry those.
I understand that, but from a protection, you know, standpoint, if you're getting charged at, or if you're, you know, in the back of a moving ambulance and you're in a struggle or something, and, you know, that is your only option, that might be a better option than just let me blow some holes in the guy and hope that I don't hit my partner that's driving. You know, I don't know. It's just something that popped into my head.
The close in struggle thing scenario. I mean, that would be a scenario where I could see having the firearm would not be the best of ideas because, like I said,
you're in a tin can.
You have to know how to retain your weapon.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't, and it gets taken from you, well, now it's going to get used on you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my thing about that type of a scenario. But I mean, to be honest, if I'm reaching to pull something out to point it at somebody because I'm in fear of being hurt, then there's a reason I'm doing it, and I'm not going to shoot a pellet at them.
Well, I kind of agree with you,
no.
Gerard. Like, I want to know that this is going to stop this person now.
Exactly.
Tell it, oh no, now what? They're still coming.
I mean,
dude, how many guys on PCP you see on cops? They got 8 tasers going in them 6 ways from Sunday,
right,
and they're still coming. You know, I'll never forget the one where the dude was high on PCP and he had a little baby, and was wandering around in a pond threatening to drown the kid, and they rolled up on him in a boat and were cracking him with nightsticks in the head. You see his head split open, and he's just gushing blood everywhere, and they're whacking him, and he ain't going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to shoot him.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But like I said, we're not talking about carrying a firearm for law enforcement purposes. This is strictly a self-defense last resort. If I feel like I'm going to get killed here, or my partner is going to get killed, I'm going to stop it. You know.
So
like I don't know what happened with those guys out there, but I mean, you got 3 guys ambushed or whatever. 2 of them had firearms. They weren't able to return fire. There might not be a situation where it's going to be there. You're going to be able to use it every time, but the fact that you would have it there, I think we're getting to that point now where I would feel better if there was a system in place where I could have it with me.
Yeah.
And that's just being me.
What do you guys think about, there's an argument to be said, not just that, we're now targets and, that sort of thing, but also that, EMS is starting to be in the fold of these active shooter situations.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that
Las
too.
Vegas and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Or a shooting or a club shooting or whatever it might be, right? And EMS is going into these hot zones under fire sometimes, just normal EMS people, not tactical EMS, not vested EMS. These are just normal people going, are you hit? Are you hit? Are you hit? No, go over there. Run.
But in front of me, there's one officer. What happens when he goes down? Now what?
Right.
Well,
Well,
and so where's the line in like that situation that you maintain being a medical provider and not a LEO?
well, here's the, I don't want to say the compromise, or here's something else I thought about. And again, your little fiefdom agencies that, want to count calls, uh,
Call volume's up.
call
This
volume.
year.
Check our call volume.
It's always up.
Because we
It's
don't have
not
the money
down,
for
it's
we
up.
don't have we don't have the money for 2-ply. Our call volume's down. And the only real true answer to this equation would be to put a third person on the truck as the armed individual who can overwatch everything and not get their head into the patient treatment game,
Right.
but stay out here and cover everybody. That
I
would
mean,
be that would be
implemented.
the smart answer.
I would love to see that implemented. So I think that's a great idea. Maybe not where like I work because I'm in the middle of nowhere out here. Like Turk, you're really in the middle of nowhere, but like where you used to work
Yep.
in these really dangerous communities and these really dangerous cities, like I would love to see how that works.
Yeah, I would say even rural, maybe even worse, because like when I worked in in a urban environment, my local urbanites, like you knew where you stood with them. The homies knew, they knew what.
Like every single call, I cannot tell you the last time I did an EMS call that the cop was not there already. And they go to everything. 80-year-old shortness of breath. Oh, they're there marking the house.
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of have it.
You have it the opposite that like I have it.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't seen a cop on a scene yet
Yeah.
in this
And
county.
Oh my God.
Like in my rural
Like,
places
not
where,
one.
yeah, I would be out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night by myself, and it's
That's
like,
what I'm saying. So like, and I'm not a super rural spot, don't get me wrong, but like these really dangerous communities, put a 3-person crew on and somebody just to oversee.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see.
And I would like to see that as a pilot program.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
But ultimately this decision has to come down from the legislator of the state. This isn't like an agency can't just be like, oh, we're going to carry today. The state has to take it seriously enough to lobby for it and then pass legislation to change the gun carrying laws.
Well, I remember during the the recent unpleasantness where we had all of the mostly peaceful protests in 2020. And when we were having our mostly peaceful protest in the city we worked in or nearby, the place we worked at, remember we asked the question, like I asked the question, I was like, what is the policy? And their reply was, we don't have a policy. So whatever you feel you need to do to protect yourself, you do.
Yeah. Which is bullshit, because then you do something.
Right. And they'll throw you under the bus.
And then they run right over you.
Right.
There's that gray area to run you right over.
Oh, we never said that,
Right.
Like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah. It's this is such a can of worms. And I agree. I think that, the heads at the table of the EMS system, at least where we are, and I'm sure there's a lot of other systems like it, is they are thinking, how do we keep call volume up? How do we get providers in seats? How do we put ambulances on
How do we pay them
roads?
the minimum we can?
Right. How do we pay them the minimum we can? How do we not reimburse Medicare and Medicaid rates? How do we do all of these things, right? With their grandiose, plan of attack that they've tried 100 times before and it always failed. So let's try it once more to waste some more taxpayer money, right? Because this time magically the government's going to fix it, right?
Yep.
And now we tell them, oh, well, you know what? This is more important than all that because it's crew safety. And you learn in CFR class, EMT class, scene safety is number one. You, yourself, your partner. Like, and the governments aren't going to take it seriously.
No.
No. how long have we been pushing to get body cameras in EMS?
I know.
And
good luck.
The legislatures are still like, meh. What? Why not?
Dude, there's still cops out there that don't have body cameras on them.
Exactly.
When I had that weird fucking bug up my ass to go do dispatch, and
That would have been so fun.
I would be issuing gear in the morning. They'd come up and like, I need this, give me a guys who were first come first served. Like, let me get a body cam, an SD card, and and whatever. And I'm like, here you go. And then, when the rest of the road patrol showed up, and they're like, let me get a body cam and SD card. I'm like, you lose. You don't get that today. Sorry, bud. It's your word against theirs. So don't shoot anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, there's so much provider angst and, what's the word I'm looking for? Like hold up and, anger towards just having a body camera on, because they know in their, heart of hearts that it's going to show how terrible they are.
Right.
Well,
and they don't want it.
Or it'll make them actually have to do their shit.
It'll make them do their job.
Right. It'll make them not BLS that chest pain.
And you can sit there and say, oh, it's just for protection. They're not going to look at the video. You know damn well they're going to use that punitively for something that has absolutely no bearing on my job.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's it too.
You took too long talking to that nurse at the hospital. We're gonna rate you up for this.
Right. Yep.
Well, I mean, so there's a thing where you can click them on and click them off. So the policy should, if it does come into play, should be, at the moment you arrive on scene, click it on.
Yep.
And then you click it off when you deliver them to the hospital. After your patient report, boom, click it off. Done.
Yep.
And
then that should be uploaded to your chart.
And that should be attached. Exactly.
So that is just like your intubation video. Yep. That should be attached to the chart. So anybody want to see that, and just think about the legality aspects of like a good provider that gets jammed up with a family that's like wanting to go after them.
Right.
Oh, you killed grandma. It's like, grandma was going to die anyway.
Grandma was 98 fucking years old,
Look at all of what I did to save grandma. Oh, wait, here's video proof of it. Go pound sand.
Right. Yeah. She was 98 years old smoking with a fucking, nasal cannula. Sorry.
Right.
Not much
Sorry, her face exploded.
Right.
So it's just, it is so infuriating that we just keep banging our heads on the wall thinking that we're going to go anywhere in this industry. I want to hear, I know that there are law enforcement people that, listen to this show. I know that there's, probably a lawyer out there that listens to this show. I mean, we have worldwide and United States reach. There has to be one lawyer out there that listens to this show.
I hope not.
Right? Right. I would love for them to email the show, info.medicmaterials@gmail.com, and give us your honest thoughts of this topic. Like, I want to hear anyone's honest thoughts, right? And we'll have a follow-up episode if I get enough responses. Like, I think where's the pulse of the EMS community on this? Not just us, but where is everybody else?
I would guess it's probably split 50-50. That would be my best guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think next October when we go to Vital Signs, I think when we do our questions, this should be a poll question. Drop a marble in a jar. Yeah. Yes, no. Whatever, into like a blacked out jar so they don't know how many's in there because, I don't want to be influenced. Oh, there's more no's, so I'm going to go with the no's, It's easy to influence people. I think that would be a really interesting, poll kind of thing.
I'd be curious to see where people stand on it. I mean, I'm with Gerard. I think it'll be pretty 50-50.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, and I'm a convert because I was originally on the other side. Like, I don't like, that's not what I'm there for. I don't want to carry, but now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I want to carry.
And I
because
think
at the end of the day, I can't trust anybody with my life except me.
Right.
you know.
Right.
And I think that's what hits at home, right? We talk all the time about scene safety and stuff like that, and you are responsible for maintaining that. You are not like, you can't just go, oh, well, the cops are here. Great. I don't have to worry about scene safety anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. Because they're going to eventually make it worse.
Yes.
Well, I mean, not, well, I guess I'll have to, you know, steal the phrase from Tombstone, but I know me personally, if I'm going to skin that smoke wagon, there's a reason it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pulling it out to point at somebody and say, now, don't come at me. You know,
right.
And I think that's where the training would come in, where you couldn't have people that just think that that's your go-to to avoid confrontation. No, that's your go-to to avoid being killed.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, we're in an age today where it used to be like, oh, if you put your hands on me, like, I'm going to have you arrested. Well,
right.
Fun fact, that's not true.
Right.
They have to cause an actual injury. So you're telling me that I have to let this man bash my head in before anything can get done, and you can go hands-on with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, you know, and then you have the whole, you know, legal standing of, oh, well, was it an excessive use of force to what they did to you?
Oh, they weren't armed.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people who aren't armed can't kill people.
Right. You know, there's a whole slew of bullshit that would have to go through.
There was a great video. I forgot who did it. It was actually like one of like the mainstream media kind of you know, things. They took a guy who was the head of the BLM chapter out in like LA or something like that, someplace out in California, and the cops actually invited him. They said, well, look, why don't you come to a training day with us? We'll put you through the paces and you can see what it is we do and the training we go through. So that way we're not out there indiscriminately, you know, shooting people. The guy actually accepted, which was kind of cool. And it turned out to be really cool because, you know, they were there with the news doing it, and they showed the cops go through the same scenario he went through first. The cops made the right decisions, right? They put him in the same scenarios. He squeezed the trigger and killed the person every time. 3 different scenarios. All 3 individuals were unarmed, and all 3 were presenting as except for one was presenting as a threat to him that he perceived as a threat to his life, and he opened fire.
Right.
And in all 3 counts, he would have been wrong and he would have gone to jail. So
yeah, and that's
it was eye-opening, you know.
Well, and I think that's what ultimately, like, you know, this would be so much education.
Yeah.
In a complete, like, you would need to start from the ground up.
Yeah.
De-escalation techniques, verbal de-escalation techniques.
When's the last time you had a CME on that?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that.
I should add that to the list. I
think so.
I will find somebody to do that with because
I don't see. Yeah, you don't see nothing like that anywhere.
But that should be a whole workshop. That's not just like a CME that you talk to people. That is somewhere that you're there for 8 hours and you're practicing on different scenarios. Yeah. Like I would love to put that together.
There you go.
I know a guy.
I see 2 people right there, one in one box, one in the other. They can figure it out.
Yep. There's a guy, I don't know if he still listens to the show, but I know he used to. And he does martial arts training and has an EMS background.
Interesting.
He's a black belt in a couple different things, and he does classes where he mixes the martial arts with like first aid. And it's
shut up and put this fucking Band-Aid on.
It's really like I've always wanted to watch one of these classes of it.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
They're just.
We did a class like that though at one of my other agencies, and it's like, oh, you know, somebody grabs your wrist. Like, how do you get them? Not that I'm trying to hurt them, but like,
Right.
how do I get them off my wrist and then
Right.
down? And it was a 16-hour class, and it was one of the best ones I have ever done.
Yeah,
Point your thumb.
and honestly, I think that would be really cool to, you know, to find somewhere that we could do that.
Yeah.
You know, partner with somebody and offer that as a medic materials thing.
Yeah.
That, you know, we hold in a school gym somewhere for, you know, a weekend. You know, I think that would be so cool. So flippin' cool.
You would definitely be the only one doing it.
Yeah. And you know, the sad part is I don't know how many people would actually go to it.
I know.
You know, because they go, I don't need it. That's
Yeah.
waste of my money.
That's what ketamine's for.
Right. That's what cops and ketamine are for. You know, and again, this is again why I wouldn't trust.
Wow. Where did
the
Sidewinder come from? He's going crazy. There's a ghost in the machine.
Oh, no. I know what that was. Let me turn that off. Somebody must have just subscribed to our YouTube channel while we were.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because I have certain alerts that go off.
What?
Yeah, there was that's the subscriber alert. So somebody apparently subscribed to our YouTube channel
funny.
while we were recording.
That's fucking great.
But thanks. That used to be from our live stream days, and I never took it out of the thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, again, this is just another reason as to why I don't trust the people next to me, you know,
Right.
and like, you know, cops trust that the next provider next to them, like the next LEO next to them, is going to have their back and is going to know what to do in a safe manner. It's just like the military. You trust the men next to you to have your back and to know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody to even intubate. I don't even trust them to not BLS a call, let alone, you know, fire a firearm with me nearby.
Right.
All right, I found the answer to it all. Ready?
Meg.
EMS canines.
Dude, wouldn't that be so cool?
Oh my
Dude,
God.
give me a fucking Belgian fur missile. All right, that rides in my truck with me. That will stand there at attention, salivating, looking at the motherfucker,
right?
Waiting for my command to go ahead and take a big old chunk out of that ass.
That would be so much fun.
At Mach fuck speed, you know?
That would be so cool.
Right?
Oh, man, would it be cool?
Absolutely. I'd just be like, oh, hey, you might want to lower your voice. I don't get physical. I get upset. When I get upset, he gets physical. So you might want to tone it down a little bit.
Right. And then you just make your...
Don't upset the fur missile.
Right. And then you just make the command. You don't even do it in like Ukrainian or Russian like they do to, you know, be all cool. You just sit there, one word, eat.
Right.
Dinner, something.
Oh,
that'd be so much fun.
I'll be the same.
Well, guys, I think that was I think there's a lot of good points to bring up in this, and I really would like to see what other people, you know, their thought process on this is and their opinions.
I mean, we're getting killed now, you know, so it's like, it's not just a thing that happens here and there now. I mean, it's starting to happen more and more,
right?
You know?
If you guys feel like writing into the show, please do info.medicmaterials@gmail.com. Leave us an email, write us an email, whatever you want. I'm going to put this as a poll on the Facebook page, as well.
You can't dance on it. It's just, you just click the buttons.
You just click the buttons. But I'd like to see the general consensus, you know, just in our Facebook community, on whether or not they would be for this or not.
Yeah.
And again, maybe we could have some dialogue, you know, on a future episode. Maybe I can get, that one guy. I honestly can't remember his name right now, but maybe I can get him on here to just discuss some things, with regards to personal safety and mitigating those types of things. But Before I leave you guys go, I do have one update from a previous episode. Remember our episode, Gerard? It was you and me, the OGs.
Oh, the OG. Yeah.
Where the ambulance crew kicked out that guy having difficulty breathing.
Yes.
So one of those providers did indeed lose their job. So they
was it? Oh my God!
I honestly don't know which one it was.
Wait, is that the one that the cops came on after, and then they're like, "Hey, I don't think he's breathing." Is there a video on that?
There is a video on it.
Yeah,
and that happened out by you guys, didn't it?
Further northwest.
Starts with a U.
No, nope.
Oh.
Bigger.
R.
I believe it was S.
No,
it might have been R. It was R or S.
No, I think it was R.
Because people can't look at maps and figure out what the fuck we're talking about, right?
That's fine. It's all over the news. Like,
right.
Yeah,
all they have to do is Google it, and they'll be like, boom, commercial ambulance. Here it is.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm not throwing them under the bus. They throw themselves under it enough.
Right. Right. That shit sells itself.
I don't need to help them.
Right.
But yeah, so update is one of those providers did indeed lose their jobs. The other ones are still being investigated, as well as the state still has their investigation pending. No. So, as well as the city. The city is
like I said, man, I
1-2 on that.
So maybe getting a female perspective on that, because it was just two dudes talking about, what we would do if we were that girl,
Your vagina was beautiful that day.
Well, I like to keep it nice and in shape, I take pride in my vagina. And wow, those are words you never ever would have thought you were gonna say when you woke up this morning. But here I am saying it. All right.
Good Lord.
Fantastic. But no, so like, yeah, it was, the initial thing was the dude grabbing her and all that stuff. But then, afterwards, when the cops were there, the situation was under control. The dude was under control.
I agree. I would have never done that. I mean, okay. I don't like to play Monday morning quarterback because I wasn't there. I didn't see the whole thing. I saw the video, but
okay,
I wasn't there with them arriving, feeling the feels, but no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, like I said, I can't speak as a female because I'm not, nor do I identify as one, because I have male parts. And
but I was talking about this. I was talking about this at work, and like I have half of my 24-hour shift is typically with a female partner, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's an all-female crew," and like, "Oh my God."
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with this, right? I can't tell you how many patients are like, "Oh, you got to let the boys do it. You can't do it. You got to let the boys do it."
Yeah, I've seen patients do that. Yeah.
Now you're gonna have somebody who grabs my arm like this. Does that hurt? No. Am I scared? No. He's not coming after. He's sitting on the stretcher. There was nothing aggressive about this. This man is dying.
So
I mean, let's just say he was aggressive and he grabbed her aggressive and all that stuff. All that ended by the time the cops got there.
Exactly. There's scene is ever evolving.
Right. And she carried on like it was
kept on going.
Right.
And the fact that she the one girl sat at the back of or was standing at the back of the stretcher and was like, "You got to get out," and helped her out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. My mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, somewhere, nowhere in that whole little fucking thing, somewhere voice in your head didn't say, "I'm fucking up."
Right.
Yeah. Maybe he's actually sick.
Well, and
right.
And what Gerard and I were mostly talking about was all of the actions that, and again, who knows? We weren't in there. There's no video of what happened inside the truck.
Right. And I'll give her whatever happened before the cops got there.
Maybe he did get aggressive. Who knows? Right. But we also have to think the medical look of things. Why was he acting that way? He was complaining of shortness of breath. You could hear him grunting in the video.
Exactly.
Like he was, he was clearly,
hypoxic
and was probably gnawing at her in a hypoxic fashion, like they do.
And I 100% agree. Call the cops. If somebody was grabbing me and they were maybe in an anxious state or an elevated state, 100% I'm going to call the cops. Maybe I'll even step to the back, open the doors. If he wants to run, he can run. Right. Wait till I'm safe. But to just sit there and be like, "Okay, you have to go."
Yeah.
Why did you call the cops then?
Right. Yeah,
Right.
to get him out.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I honestly, I think all the providers in there, should.
No, the only one was that paramedic that showed up. It was the guy that came after.
Right.
But
And
even
actually looked and was like, he's not okay.
yeah,
Right.
But he was making phone calls as that guy was on the ground. So even he stood there and was like,
Yeah.
I mean, there
Do
may
I
have
have
also
to-
been like that fog of war type thing where, he's getting there and he's like, what the fuck did I just walk into?
right. Yeah.
Maybe he
You
was
never
calling
know.
for more assets,
Yeah.
like,
Calling
hey,
his
maybe we need
supervisor.
right. Maybe we need another truck here or something. I don't know.
Right.
And I was thinking about it, after we did the episode, and I was like, yeah, like we were joking about, the cops kind of standing there like, oh, should we Narcan him or should we Narcan him? And I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. I can't fault the cops either because it's an EMS call.
It's not their job. They don't know
right.
the
Right.
patient.
They
They don't know.
They don't
Right.
know.
They're like, well, is EMS going to come do something? I mean, the dude's on the floor,
Right. Right.
They have no idea.
It's that whole call was just unreal, unflippin' real.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate your time and opinions. I again appreciate all of the people who listen to this show faithfully.
Yes.
The growing fan base and the fact that you guys, I just saw a couple posts. He who done did it knows who I'm talking about. But I just saw a couple posts, on the Facebook feed of them sharing this show out to their, Facebook world. So,
Sweet.
the fact that, people enjoy it enough to share it with other people and say, hey, you have to listen to these idiots. That warms my heart beyond belief. So thank you very much for all that everybody does, to keep us going and, all the CME stuff. And now that we're growing and getting agencies involved and stuff, I'm doing a 3-hour CME session tomorrow over Zoom. I have another one coming up, at an agency. So the education is getting out there, which I think is really cool and epic, and hopefully will, mold some, young skulls full of mush. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Gerard gets that reference. I wish it was smoother, but I'm sorry, it wasn't. But
Rocky Road.
Gerard, lead us away, man.
Well, I was going to say congratulations to our new helicopter nurse.
Thank you.
Woo!
Very
So
excited.
we'll call it Fling Wing Donuts.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want more information about us and the podcast, or if you'd like to send us one of your messed up calls to review, visit medic-materials.com. There you can also find out how to earn continuing education credits just by listening to the podcast. We appreciate you spending time with us today. Until next time, remember, when your naked meth head patient jumps up and runs away, it's okay to mark it as no patient found.